when we're looking at China and you're saying it's not exploitative, how are we determining that? Because as far as I'm concerned,
I mean, should I have to explain this to you?
No, this is wild. Right, Bimmy, in order to understand whether a bicycle is the fucking best, and you have a line of different bicycles.
Here comes the analogies.
Trying to explain to me
that
how the United States pushing for national policies will not have an effect on the rest of the world. And why does that matter? Well, it does matter considering we are debating. No, unlike you, I was intending to engage with your example. So I'm going to try to. So here we go. So when we're talking about the IMF, you need to realize that usually when a country takes on a loan from the IMF, they're on their last standing. They don't have any other options.
No, this is not true. No. This is fact. This is false. This is false.
I'm willing to give
you the example of 2019.
No, you need to give me an opportunity to explain myself. Which one is worse? I literally just sat there. This is the problem with you. I sit here. I give you a bread. Why are you interrupting me now?
When they do not take these loans, we invade. We push.
Now you're pivoting. Now you're just going to something different again.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I am just talking about loans. You're not talking about invasions. This is wild.
Stop interrupting, please. You're fucking.
You don't stop talking either. What is with you fucking people? Just stop fucking. Give me a chance to respond. You can't go from loans to exploitation to coups to invasion and then go loans are the same. Which one? Yeah, welcome to Debate Deathmatch episode 10. Today we have two very big hotheads, or at least that we would be criticized of being such. It is me personally, and then versus Bimmy. Okay, and the topic at hand is USA.
I didn't have time to shave, Nikki. Sorry. Oh, I'm shaving on stream, dude. That's what I'm doing. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Bimmy. Right, okay. So the topic at hand is the USA, and the prompt is relating to we should inherently trust the US system because it will lead to better outcomes for humanity. That includes its own people, that includes internationally, that includes everybody. So it's giving a lot of wiggle room for a lot of debates to happen. So here we're going to go. Bimmy, by the way, you can turn your camera on when you want to. I'm going to head it off considering I am holding the affirmative position. In other words, I am the one supporting this prompt. Bimmy is opposing it.
Should I give him points for?
I'm going to have up to 10 minutes to give my opening statement, and then the equivalent will be given to Bimmy depending on how long I take. So we're going to start the counter. It's 22 minutes past right now. So here we go. Okay. So the way we're going to understand the world in general and why it is that we should inherently have a trust for the US system is because when we are trying to determine what is best for humanity, and considering we live in the year 2024, what decisions America makes, what decisions Russia, China, and subsequently the rest of the world make will have ripple effects, if not anything else, on the rest of the world. And as a result, we should probably be supporting the best systems and be opposing the worst systems, i.e. China. That was already settled last night. You guys can go and watch it. I absolutely destroyed my opponent. Okay, brilliant. No, I'm joking. The point being made is that, yes, we should have an inherent trust for the US system because we should have an inherent trust for the US system because apart from comparing it to the rest of the world, and well, let's just say there's a really low bar, that is one element of it. Yep. It is not the best. I'm not of the opinion that it is the best. We have countries like Switzerland. We have other countries as well, which I've been called out for not supporting. Yes, they would probably pass the US, but irregardless, the US is doing things, if not the best, they're doing things good enough. And as a result, we should be trusting them. Now, should we blindly be trusting them? No. Should we be aware of things? Yes. But when it comes to determining whether we should or shouldn't, it needs to come down to data, facts, and things that are backed up by evidence, not conspiracies, not ideas. And before anybody would suggest, but conspiracies then become true at some point. yes, that can be the case. When evidence is provided, then we look at it further. And if the USA is falling off the edge of the cliff and they're fucking shit up too much, then we would stop supporting them. But for the time being, there is very little evidence to suggest that they are so far gone or that they're doing a bad job when we take a look at the world as it is. So, yes, I think we should be supporting the USA. I think they're doing a phenomenal job in comparison to taking everything in context. And yes, it will lead to better outcomes for humanity, considering every metric we look at over the last 150 years when America has led to gaining the amount of power that it has. We can see every single metric up, whether you're looking at poverty, or you're looking at sanitation, you're looking at pollution, you're looking at wealth distribution, you're looking at multiple different, okay, not wealth distribution, but wealth in general. People are making more money and are being lifted out of poverty. And this is because of, as far as I'm concerned, the ripple effects of America and the likes. So countries like America. So that's my 3 minutes. Bimmy, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
I think he's good faith in that he admits America's flaws, and I think he proved the one claim about American poverty.
If you would have been specific, I don't know what you mean by America is the best system. So you mean internationally? Their influence internationally? That's what you mean? Or are you talking about the American domestic system?
I'm talking about America as a whole when looked at internationally. Yes, we can't just
so the international system. Okay. Well, here, right. Well, what you just said right now is
if they are failing nationally, then that would affect internationally. But they're not, as far as I'm concerned, which is why they affect it positively. Okay.
Well, it depends on your definition of failure. America, when it comes to first world countries, has the most medical debt. The most people die has the worst healthcare system, worst healthcare outcomes in the world. When first world countries, we have third world poverty in America. This is a fact. There's studies on it. And the statement that you just made when it comes to lifting people out of poverty, that is objectively not true. China lifted 800 million people out of poverty in modern history. It is the record. It was the record-breaking fastest amount of people that came out of poverty. I was just repeat that shit right now. Wealth, income, and inequality is pretty bad in America and in China, but China's not a first world country. It's a developing
mention catch-up growth.
nation.
Catch-up growth.
Compared to the United States, who a country that has been much more
trying to change the
much more time to develop.
But there are international metrics that we use that still show
longer time periods to develop, right? So
that still show China lifted a lot of people out of poverty,
areas, right? So I don't understand which
also
one
really
you want to pick to look back. But when you compare America, you don't compare them to China because China is a second world developing country. You compare them to the first world countries, the ones that have time to develop, the European countries mainly, Australia, Japan, etc. And America has, compared to those countries, some of the worst fucking outcomes to everything. To housing rates, to healthcare outcomes, to poverty,
China
to
stagnated after COVID too,
et cetera, right? Now, if you want to go with the American system is literally, when it comes to first world countries, it is basically an oligarchy. No, I'm sorry, it is an oligarchy. It's controlled by the very rich who influence our politicians at a 95% rate. This has been studied.
95% statistic.
There's been French studies, British studies, all kinds of studies that have proven that America is an oligarchy. It is not a democracy. It has no representation of the people. About 6%
By the way, tell me if the audio level's for anyone is fucked.
Vote or
if
whatever.
You can't hear me when I speak over them, or if they're too quiet or too loud.
Lower classes have an effect on the outcome of elections, or they get represented by the government. It's one of the worst, if not the worst, dude.
Audio's fine, okay.
Now, when it comes to international issues, international influence, that's what you're talking about. Well, we can compare them to, we have, in recent memory, we have had 3 countries that have had the most amount of international influence, right? China, America, and Britain. By far, China is the least harmful out of the 3. Not even close. I'll continue.
I really like the way he argued that.
Get time back.
I'm giving him 3 for that.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Bimmy. Obviously, that's done for opening statements. we're then gonna, well, obviously I'm gonna take the floor next, right? Okay. So once again, Bimmy, I just want to narrow this down as clearly as possible so we avoid any confusions. When I'm talking about America, I'm looking at it, comparing it to the rest of the world. I don't know why a lot of people have a difficulty doing this, because
you're comparing apples to oranges. You cannot compare America to Somalia. This is a third world country that has this is a third world country that has not had the logistics, the help, the manufacturing, the worker power. This is a stupid argument, dude. You compare America to first world countries. Those are the countries that are more comparable to America and is by far the worst.
I'll give him one for that.
Again, when we are looking and we are saying better for all humanity, we need to understand
international influence. That's what you mean.
Call it whatever the fuck you want. Okay. What I'm saying, listen to the words that I'm saying to you. That was the prompt, where it's for all humanity, including America's people, including Europe's people, the Middle East people, Africa, and the rest of the world. That is what is being compared here. Now, if you want to talk about just comparing the USA to every other first world country, you can do that. That is one way of looking at it. You cannot
compare. You see, you're saying two fucking things, dude. The American system, if you're going to compare it for the American people, that is domestic issues. If you're comparing out of how they contribute themselves into international issues, that is international issues. Do you understand?
No.
What did you want to
do? You're saying that I didn't make that comparison. I told you they have by far some of the worst outcomes in the first world.
Tax to rich thing.
I cannot compare them to third world people because third world people have not had the advantage for their countries to develop like the United States.
Right, Bimmy, when we're having a debate that is about, is the USA system, considering that's the prompt here, is the USA system good enough, if not one of the best? Then how are we going to understand that? And as far as I'm concerned, yes, you would include third world systems, even though I'm going to agree, I will concede. Obviously, this is the fucking case here. You're comparing somebody who has a huge advantage in the race, which would be America, compared to another country that doesn't. That's not fair normally, but they're in the same race. And as a result, we are trying to understand what is a good system. And in order to be able to come to that conclusion, we need to also understand what is the worst system, what is a bad system, what is a good system, what is the best system. That's how we were trying to draw a scale and understand, is this country really the worst, like Bimmy says, because he'll say, it's the worst, it's the worst. I'm pretty sure what you actually mean is it's the worst compared to first world countries.
It's the worst compared to the ones that you can compare them best to.
You can compare every country to. This is fucking insane.
I know you can, but the one that you can compare them best to, that have the most similarities, are the first world countries. It is very stupid to compare America to Somalia, right? I mean, should I have to explain this to you?
No, this is wild. Right, Bimmy, when you have, in order to understand whether a bicycle is the fucking best, and you have a line of different bicycles.
Here comes the analogies.
Well, you're not understanding this one, seeing as it's apparently fucking obvious that in order to draw a scale and understand whether or not a country is the best, you will also need to know what is the worst. Because if you don't know what is the worst, then how are you comparing it? And you can choose to choose first world countries to compare it to. That is possible. I'm not saying you can't, so I'm not saying that you're insane for doing so. I'm saying to you that the best scale, the best metric that you're going to be getting, considering the world has a lot of different countries, and we want to be supporting a system, and we want to determine which is the best. In order to follow that system, we would need to separate all of them and compare them just from the start. Am I saying that that's the end all be all? No, that's where you should start in order to come to this conclusion. Do you get it now?
It's sure, dude. Make your point.
Okay, so judges, you need to talk with one another. If all three of you reach 0, just making you aware that you need to just send DMs to one another, considering you're all muted. And if somebody, me or Bimmy, were to reach 0 by all three of you, then somebody would be disqualified. Okay. Right. So my point is, Bimmy, yes, it is fair considering we're trying to understand here. But for the sake of the debate, I didn't come here wanting to play some fucking debate bro strats. Okay, I have zero interest in that. If you want to specifically
you didn't come here to debate.
I did come here to debate, but I'm interested if there is a possibility that you are aware of certain things and you're more intelligent about this on this matter, then the whole point of me debating is not like winning or taking W's. I do want that. Obviously, that's what I'm aiming for. But the whole point here is to like educate myself. What the fuck else am I doing debating with random people on the fucking internet? The point is, Bimmy, if you need to be able to explain it to me, because if there's no other way, like I'm understanding the USA is fucking awesome. The only problem is that I'm drawing a line and I'm saying, well, Afghanistan is pretty fucking dog shit and Somalia is the worst of the fucking worst. So that's how I'm understanding it. If I'm saying the worst of the worst is
you want me to explain?
Well, now America looks a little bit less better.
Afghanistan, African countries, Latin American countries have been exploited by these Western nations for their resources for hundreds of fucking years. That's what you want me to tell you? Of course they suck. This is a fact. This is not myth, by the way. This is, I can name here in America. It was called the Truman Doctrine. It was called the Monroe Doctrine, and both doctrines was by United States interest. We would create these banana governments that we must exploit. This is not. Wait. This is not.
He's
myth.
Explaining it
this
poorly.
Is not conspiracy.
He's explaining
this
it.
Is a fact.
Worse than he could.
Oh,
this is actual data.
I'll give him one.
Is America the only country that exploits other countries?
The other countries that have exploited countries are the European countries, the first world countries that I was comparing them to. Those are the most comparable countries. When you compare the United States, you compare them to Britain, France, fucking Germany, Sweden, Denmark, etc. Right? Those are the countries you compare them to. They're better comparable. Those systems are much more democratic than ours. They have better outcomes in all metrics, pretty much all metrics, brother. And we can go into that. I don't know which one do you want to go to. Now, if you want to debate international influence, like China, what China does to influence, you're talking about humanity, right? I think that China's international influence is much less harmful than the United States. I can prove it. So which one? We can go wherever you want, dude.
Okay, you keep saying go wherever you want. We have a prompt here, and you're the one who agreed to the prompt. The prompt would entail us to have this conversation. So this is not something that I'm trying to pivot or like specifically get to. That is the fucking prompt here. So as a result, I'm going to include it. But here we go. So you're essentially saying that, yes, America bad, but I mean, China also do something bad. Yes, good answer. Yes, that is the truth here. And as a result, China is not the only country. China's not the only one exploiting other countries. As far as I'm concerned, Africa also fucks itself over, or the Middle East is fucking, again, itself over, or China is fucking Africa over, or Russia is fucking the Middle East over. Like, that's
apparently
the way
NATO
you're going to understand. Everybody's fucking everybody over. You need to determine which one of these guys is the best. So it's not just saying, oh yeah, the Truman Doctrine, the Monroe Doctrine, the end, debate one. That's not a good enough fucking indication. It's not that obvious that they are the worst. Or which is your claim.
When it comes to exploitation of the third world, America is by far, right now, in modern history, the worst.
Okay, when you say that, they also have the most influence. They have the most money.
Okay,
they have
so
the
then
most.
I have to compare them. I will compare them to China, who also has a lot of money and a lot of influence.
They don't have any. Okay, they don't have enough to be like compared one to one. But yes, that would be your.
They are. They do.
No, they don't. They suck. They butcher their own fucking data. But okay, whatever. Let's just compare it to China because you're right. That is the best equivalent that we have. That is the only country that has somewhere close to what America has, given, I don't know how fucking close in reality. But yes, that would be a good comparison. If you want to, I acknowledge that. Yes, go ahead. China.
Okay, China has what we call the Belt and Road Initiative, which is an economic basically loan system where countries, these third world countries, want to develop. Now, they tend to only have two choices. Take the IMF loan system or take the Belt and Road Initiative to develop their countries. If you want your country to develop, to have a workforce, to have infrastructure, to blah, blah, extract your resources so you can enrich your people, etc., you need these fucking loans.
Equals some, right? What?
China does not. China does put interest on their loans, just like the IMF loan. But the IMF, the difference between the IMF loans is that they're ideological. They force the countries that take these loans to push austerity measures, to push horrific wealth and inequality, to put horrific governments and fucking half authoritarians, Pinochet, a lot of motherfuckers. Holy shit.
Okay, do you
power for them to implement this neoliberal reform? This is nothing new, brother. This is called shock doctrine. This is very well documented. It has fucked up countries all over the world for many fucking years.
Okay, so when you say the IMF pushes the agenda or like gives loans out to people with a political...
IMF, yes, the IMF, not the Belt and Road Initiative.
That is what I said.
Of course, yes, the Belt and Road Initiative does advocate for Chinese interests, but they don't push ideological. They don't tell you how to build your country, how to work your government, who you're gonna fuck over in your government. They basically, China says, okay, you got oil, we'll help you develop, help us get your oil for cheap, this and that, and we'll help each other. They're partnerships. America used to do this in the 1930s until we got the Truman Doctrine. I feel like I'm teaching. I feel like I'm in fucking high.
You are having a debate here. Yes, that is correct. You should be the one supporting your ideas. Yes, correct. Bravo, baby. Okay, so when we're looking at China and you're saying it's not exploitative, how are we determining that? Because as far as I'm concerned, when you make a deal with somewhere, just naming somewhere called Tanzania, and you then decide that I'm going to decide who gets to work there. I'm going to decide who the workers are going to be. And guess what? I want Chinese people there, considering it's a different country with a different demographic and a populace that is extremely poor, and how they would benefit very well so by having their own people be the ones who actually build the fucking port and actually make things happen there. But no, China specifically only allows in the contract for Chinese workers. So answer me this, Bim. That is true, which is why Tanzania's fucking president opposed it. Which is why they didn't allow it to go through for
specific fucking country, dude.
That is the one I'm talking about for now.
IMF. I'm sorry, fucking Belt and Road Initiative loans, dude.
Okay, so you're just choosing to ignore the example that I gave you on the basis of IMF. No, we're starting somewhere. We need to start somewhere.
That's fine. I can cherry pick it. Go ahead.
This is not cherry picking. We need to start somewhere. You said how China, and I'm giving you an example of China clearly doing that. So engage with it. That's all that is. It's not cherry picking.
You hear what I said in the very beginning? I said the Belt and Road Initiative is the least.
You act like I know anything about
when it's the least
disprove. Listen, I have this here. That's what matters.
It doesn't just disprove it. The end.
If I want to.
You need to disprove it.
What country do you want? Let's go.
I already gave you Tanzania.
Chile.
I already gave you. Okay, so you're just not gonna even. Okay, fine. Let's just go to Chile. I mean, you don't want to engage with Tanzania. Chile. Convenient. Brilliant. Chile. Okay. We don't like Tanzania, guys. All right, Chile.
Have one down here.
Allende comes to power, passes social reforms that drastically improve the lives of all the Chilean people. He is ousted by a military coup. All of this is facts. Military coup backed by the United States, which has now come to light, and it was the United States backed by the CIA to implement an authoritarian dictator which killed about 30,000 people in Chile, to implement this shock doctrine, this IMF loans, austerity measures, which privatize everything in the country, push austerity measures, and drastically destroy the lives of the Chilean people.
Okay, so when you say
another one.
No, unlike you, I was intending to engage with your example. So I'm going to try to. So here we go. So when we're talking about the IMF, you need to realize that usually when a country takes on a loan from the IMF, they're on their last standing. They don't have any other options.
No, this is not true. No. This is fact. This is false. This is false.
Look, I'm willing to consider.
Just give you the example of 2019.
No, you need to be. You need to give me an opportunity to explain myself. I don't just say words and then not like define it. Okay, brilliant. So I think when I'm saying they have a last standing, it means it's not favorable. Nobody ever wants to take a loan. Everybody wants to have cash in hand or have a lot of money where they don't need to obey by the bank's fucking rules, essentially. But guess what? Life's not like that. Countries need to develop, and it benefits them from doing so. And as a result, given that they don't have any money to further their progress, then taking on a loan from the IMF could be seen as beneficial to them. Now, are there conditions that would be negative towards them? Well, yes, but so is every other fucking loan out there in the world. I don't know of any loan that's like very nice and
should we trust the American system? Something like that.
Business.
I wrote down the exact prompt, but it's basically, is America good or bad?
To the terms.
We should inherently trust the American system because it will lead to better outcomes.
The fucking loan. Like, you understand that from my perspective, it's like, yeah, but you have to import exclusively from the United States or export exclusively to the United States. Okay? Well, if that's a term in the fucking contract and you agree to it, then what the fuck is exploitative about
handing
that?
Out way more negatives than I am. I need to start handing out more negatives, I guess.
What you just said right now. You said on your last legs. 2019, a new president comes to power. Rafael Correa is ousted illegally, and now it has come out, facts and data, out of Ecuador, out of power illegally by the right-wing Supreme Court. Later, they overturned
Ecuador now.
Wait, I'm giving you an example of what you just said.
Another example.
Judges, Nader and Gamer Boy.
And they took
not engaging with the fucking example.
This guy comes
pivoting
in
now.
Wait, you didn't say anything.
You said
go on.
I should give you a negative score for lying.
We're talking about Chile. I'm rebuttaling Chile.
What he said is
engage
true.
With Chile.
I thought he was going to say something not true. I thought he was going to say the U.S. is involved.
You gave the example of Chile, and I started off with the IMF. You want me to talk about their influence, the United States government influence, the CIA?
You know what happened in Chile, though? Wait, this was an American-backed illegal coup where they killed the fucking Democratic leader. You want to talk?
I can't engage with that. I don't have.
You know what? Hold on. You know what? Hold on. When did
I will
China
give him
ever
-1 for the Ecuador
thing. The point here. Yes, they might not have done that. I don't know. We don't know yet. We haven't even talked about China. You can't stay on one example for more than 5 minutes for us to be able to dive into the details of the minutiae of it.
To the United States. When has China illegally backed a coup that killed a democratically elected president? Please explain.
China, I know of other examples. I know China doesn't really like fucking Taiwan. I know that China doesn't like fucking Africa. Okay. I know that China pretty much doesn't like anybody else that's not China. But guess what? They do it to their own fucking people. So is that even better?
You're pivoting to domestic issues.
It's all one, Bimmy. When you understand whether a country is best for humanity is affected internationally and nationally, all of it together. That's how it works. If America makes systems, put things in place in order to make progress for its own people, it could come at the detriment of everybody else. That's how life works. Ripple effects. If you're strong and you make decisions for your own people and you fuck shit up, guess what? It can affect the rest of the world because your impact on it is strong. That's how it works. If America turns dictatorial tomorrow and stops trading with China and Russia and they just close off to the rest of the world, guess what? The lead fucking importer and exporter has now gone wiped off the face of the earth. It was just a national policy, guys. What the fuck are you talking about? Stop separating the two whenever we're talking about understanding, determining whether it benefits humanity. That's what we're talking about here. Humanity is not just Americans.
Okay. You didn't, I don't know. I honestly don't even know what the fuck you said. You just LARPed extremely hard, but I'm just going to ignore it. So when these two systems expand their loans, I told you, the Belt and Road Initiative
just going to ignore
it. By ideological reasons. The IMF loan systems are spread by ideological reasons. They push neoliberal policies, dude. This is a fact. I don't know why you're fucking not engaging with that. I don't know how you connected it to the people of China being affected by domestic policy. We're talking about international.
This is Nonfon adding its bias. I don't understand what your argument is. You can ignore it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say it again. Bimmy, no, I'm going to actually ask you a question because I tried it that way. Now I'm going to try a different. Thanks for the raid, by the way, guys. Right, here's how it goes. So again, if America pushes for a policy that affects its own people, so it's pushing a national policy, it wants to become a republic.
What does that have to do with international
Listen to me.
policy?
I'm trying to explain it to you because obviously you don't understand. I clearly explained it to you 2 minutes ago. Nothing went through. Don't know. Literal fucking thin air in there. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to ask you again. If America tomorrow closes its borders, all right, closes the wall.
Listen
to me. Listen to me. Very simple. Very simple example. Very simple. No, you're not going to interrupt me. You're not going to interrupt me. Right, here's how it goes. America instills a wall. They put a wall. They say not a single fucking immigrant is coming into this country. What happens, Bimmy? Does that affect only the United States? Answer the question. Do not fucking pivot like you've done every single other fucking conversation we've had up until now. What does it affect only the United States? That's my question. Answer it.
Every policy ever affects always. It just depends on if a local policy will affect local people.
No.
An international policy will affect international policy.
Can it affect?
Argument.
Building the wall, restricting immigrants, considering they're coming from other countries.
I know.
It would affect them, would it not, Bimmy?
That's okay, but
just answer the fucking question, you imbecile. Answer the question. You're pivoting. You're pivoting again. Right, answer the question. Could it affect?
You don't know how to answer what we were
talking
about.
Could it affect people from the rest of the world? No, I'm literally been talking about the same things for the last 10 minutes. Pivoting is what you do. Not engaging is what you do.
Building a wall. Building a wall will affect the people that are coming in. But if you don't build that wall,
where are those? No.
The people that
where are they coming from?
America.
Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from, Bimmy?
Okay. They're coming from
minus
Latin
10 for insulting.
Brilliant.
Coming from Latin America.
Here we go.
Honestly, I don't care about him interrupting when PPG is avoiding the question.
Had an effect internationally. No, shut the fuck up. Had an effect internationally. Did it not?
No.
If it affects South America, which is not America.
What had actual effect?
You're fucking retarded.
What had actual
I might honestly give him 3 for this claim, just because how much PPG is fucking ignoring it.
Monroe Doctrine,
I don't know.
Which is policy.
Why is he pivoting back to that?
In America, you can't cite anything because you don't have anything. You were citing data with fucking Turbo, thinking that you knew what the fuck you were talking about, and now you don't have shit, and you're bringing up hypotheticals, brother.
I'm sorry. Are you Turbo? Is this a conversation that requires data, is it? Because I literally had this fucking conversation last night and actually said, I'm not going to go into the data aspect, considering we're now talking about the USA and understanding its policies. And while there is data, it's not going to be my strongest weapon. You see, I actually strategize before I go into a fucking debate. Here's the problem, Bimmy. And I know people are going to say, border security is international policy. Okay. What about raising taxes, guys? If the United States raises taxes, in its own country, would that not affect its investments? And as a result, investors would be less incentivized to then go out and invest. Now they would be more incentivized to go out and invest in different territories around the world where they're not going to be.
What is your
you don't see the connection. You're brain dead. You don't understand.
Policy is going.
Exactly, which is why it's relevant.
Fine. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay, keep them neutral.
Yes, welcome to reality, Bimmy. It's not just, America's making an international policy, therefore we can expect it.
Any argument.
That's what the debate is about, you fucking brain dead chimp. That's what the debate is about.
Interrupted again.
You hard pivoted away from the IMF loan system and the fucking Belder Initiative.
Yes, because you can't.
Domestic issues of how America affects. Please let me talk. How America affects these international countries impoverish them deliberately to extract their resources. And I cited many data. And you didn't say anything. You pivoted to what China does to its own people. What the fuck does that have to do with their international policy? You said for the betterment of humanity. Well, I would take that the betterment of humanity means international influence by these powerful states. To which I stated China is the least harmful. Now you're talking about some fucking border policy because you don't have anything to argue about, dude.
See if he proves that.
Please say something. I'm gonna go get a beer.
Well, I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, right. So
-10 for getting a beer.
This is your data, by the way. It is Chile, and we didn't even get into fucking Ecuador. You just said something about a president. That's not data. That's just, well, I mean, we can consider it data.
What countries have the coup? I don't think China's
very insignificant data.
But
that's the only fucking thing you said.
About the
fucking
debt trap.
Chile. That's it. Basically, it was a coup. And then it led to horrible outcomes for the people. Now, I'm not dismissing that.
What I'm saying,
that? You did. You just stopped talking. You just stopped talking. Shut the fuck up.
You interrupted me with some bullshit.
Then
I can finish it.
Oh my god! No, you brought up the fucking government and the coup, and then the unfavorable IMF loans. So then I started. Shut the fuck up! Shut up! I'm talking. Shut the fuck. No, you're interrupting me again. Why are you interrupting me? So I then engage with the IMF, and I'm trying to explain to you. I'm picking it apart. You mentioned two things, so I talk about the IMF. I'm not pivoting. Unlike you, when I mentioned Tanzania, you had nothing to say and wanted to just move on to fucking Chile.
What gorillas do they
I let you do that.
I'm not saying that they don't. I just don't know.
Look really good, but fine. So we're talking about Chile. You give me two fucking reasons for why USA bad in Chile. And so I engaged with one of them. I didn't even give a fucking chance to engage with the other one before you started trying to explain to me that how the United States pushing for national policies will not have an effect on the rest of the world. And why does that matter? Well, it does matter considering we are debating that we should have a trust, an inherent trust in the US system. The US system encompasses both the national and the international level. All of it is connected. And then I give you an example of the wall. You don't like the wall because it's an international policy. I can give you examples of national policies, the tax rate. And as a result, America pushing policies within its own borders to its own people can have an effect on the rest of the world. And as a result, we would look at everything independently and separately in order to determine, are they good? Are they bad? Is this best for us to be supporting this or not? Which is what this debate is about. Don't fucking accuse me of pivoting, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
You pivoted about as hard as it could get. Anyway, sure. It's a national law can technically affect if you pass taxes.
All right. Look at this good faith concession, guys.
Go to another country.
Wow, I know. Congratulations, you got there an hour into the fucking debate.
Are you comparing that? Dude? Are you seriously comparing that?
Well, technically, it does have an effect.
You're interrupting me. I'll let you talk. Are you comparing that to loans that states all around the world, undeveloped countries, must take for them to develop and to you said betterment of humanity? If you want the betterment of humanity of your people, you must take these loans. Which one? I'm gonna ask you again.
I might need to.
Which one is better? The Chinese fucking Belt and Road Initiative or the IMF loan austerity pushing system?
Okay, these two things are not equatable. I don't know why you think they're a one-to-one. And in order for you to be able to compare two things, you need to first then make them equal. Usually in mathematics, we would round things up to the closest equivalent and be able to compare them.
This is your argument. The argument that I said about
you're literally asking me which one is better.
America, the third world countries. Now you want to make them equal? Now you want to make them equal? Bruh.
Are you done? Are you done? Yeah, okay, brilliant. So, again, I'm going to repeat myself. You're asking me which one's better, and in order for me to first be able to determine which one's better, First of all, I need to ask myself, are they equal? In other words, the IMF has been around for a hell of a long time, has given out a hell of a lot of loans at a specific fucking rate, and that has increased or decreased accordingly, provided
and
different measurements. And as a result, just saying which one's better is the IMF or China, well, you're going to need to look at something specifically and determine it as a result.
But the Belt and Road Initiative includes loans to countries. It includes loans for like infrastructure projects.
That have basically embraced the BRI. But the IMF has been all over the world. So these two things are very difficultly compared, but you can give me an example and we can engage with that one specifically. Just asking me which one's better, the IMF or the BRI. Obviously, I'm going to say the IMF, considering they have a huge track record. And for the time that they've been around, there's much less shit that can be attributed to them compared to the BRI that's been around for a very short period of time. And there's already multiple countries, India, Tanzania, Singapore, Indonesia, all originally came out against the BRI and said that it is exploitative and it's pushing for Chinese policies.
But there are also countries that came out against the IMF
in America, exploitive. In the countries that America has the most influence, especially historically, if you do not take these loans, you will get a fucking covert-operated coup, which has, and I'm not making shit up. This is all public knowledge in America.
You already said
there has been there's been about fucking 21 coups that we know of in all of Latin America, which then in turn pushes these loans and austerity measures. Now, I want you to tell me which one is which one is worse? Which one is worse?
I literally just sat there. This is the problem with you. I sit here. I give you comprehend. Why are you interrupting me now?
When they do not take these loans, we invade. We push.
Now you're pivoting. Now you're just going to something different again.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I am giving you historical evidence of what America does. You're not talking about invasions.
These loans.
This is wild.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Stop interrupting, please. You're fucking.
You don't stop talking either. What is with you, fucking people? Just stop fucking. Give me a chance to respond. You can't go from
they should both get
to
-10.
exploitation
what the hell is
to
happening?
coups to invasion, and then go.
Now you don't want to join it all together the way you were saying. Now you don't. Now it doesn't matter. Now we got.
If it joins and comes full circle at the end, and you're guiding again, he doesn't stop.
Again, from all this, I mean, I don't think the boss is interrupted as much.
That's what happened to Allende, Arbenz. It tried to happen to Cuba.
Okay, I'll give him a point for the
Sanadistas. Try to happen to fucking Venezuela now, etc., etc. Sorry, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I'll keep him at 1.
I'm sorry, you pivot fucking so hard that I'm still talking.
Any data, so you're just screaming at the top of your lungs and trying to fucking pivot. I know these fucking debate pro tactics.
Which made a cut.
What do you want me to tell you, man?
That'd be awesome, dude.
Oh, you done now? Can I finally talk? Brilliant. Okay, so data, apparently, according to you, is naming countries that took on loans. I gave you the BRI, Indonesia, Singapore, Tanzania, India. I gave you 4 countries that oppose the BRI that are the closest fucking allies to China when it comes to other things. When you're talking about Chile, then going to Ecuador, then you want me to talk about those things specifically. Well, I need to be able to dive into them. And I'm explaining to you why you're asking me, is it favorable or is it not? Again, interrupting me. Again interrupting me.
The argument is that America is better for the humanity in the world. And I just disproved to you, no. If you didn't know. Their way, I literally just did.
No, you didn't. Because they're not equated. You can't equate them.
You will get your country overthrown.
You can't compare them.
And you will accept the loan anyway.
You're going to need to do some calculation.
Historically.
You're going to need to
this is not me. Wait, it's funny that you brought up conspiracies, dude, because I'm not saying conspiracies. All of this is verified.
Are you done? Are you done? Can I haven't even mentioned fucking conspiracies. The point is, Bimmy, you're asking me which one is better. And so I explain you. I give you a comprehensive understandable explanation for why you can't just look at them and say, oh, this one's better or this one's worse. I already gave you my answer. IMF is better. They have a longer track record. They are more trustable within more countries. They continue to be getting their loans out to people. And you're okay. Can you stop talking for a fucking second? Can you stop? Can you stop? Thank you. Brilliant. Wait, no, shut the fuck up. You just ignored
everything I said.
Oh my God.
You don't have any data for what you're saying, though.
What do you keep saying data? You're talking about countries. I'm talking about countries.
Take these loans. America.
You just want to use my. What? What is your point? Right, make your claim. Make your claim, motherfucker. Make it crystal clear. Wait, make one claim that makes comprehensible sense, and I will engage with it. One claim.
Listen.
You better be able to prove this one. You better prove this one.
Stop saying your claim. Start a claim. No, shut the fuck up. Engage. No, shut up. You don't know how to. No, I need to follow you because you're a moron. Make a claim. I will engage. A single claim that's comprehensive. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I'm gonna go by your claim.
Start somewhere. Start somewhere that's not me. Start somewhere.
Claim. You made a claim.
You have no idea how to engage with reality. You are so far from reality, it doesn't make sense. Start somewhere, Bimmy.
Your claim was that because the IMF loaned these countries take these loans. What is it like? You're making it seem like they took them. With consent. Oh yeah, we'll take these loans. Don't worry. When we have the track record, that's not fucking fact. If you don't,
they don't. I'm sorry. Did IMF stop giving out loans? No, because you just said that's something that's false.
IMF
I'm sorry.
It gives you the opportunity to take. The
and do they not sign the contract? Does the country itself not sign the contract?
Okay, so democratically elected governments get overthrown, and then they put somebody who isn't.
Is that every single case scenario? Every country that the IMF has given a loan to, they've signed to?
Latin America. Oh, you're okay. So you cited 4 countries. Can I cite you the ones in America here?
Now you're going to go over to other countries that are not included in this list? Oh, brilliant. Now we're going to start talking about Panama.
We're talking about the world.
I mean, you keep bringing up random countries that make no sense, so keep going. I guess we're just going to pivot again. Brilliant. Go ahead. What country are we talking about now, Bimmy? 5 minutes ago, we were talking about Chile, Ecuador.
You brought up. I know what you're doing, dude. Shut the fuck up. It's not going to work.
Brilliant. I'm trying to understand what's going on here.
Dude, and now you don't know shit. I know
data. I'm sorry. What data
I have to bring to him? I'm sorry.
Keep considering you love using data. Is that data? Is it?
It's actual data. It happened. Yes.
Yeah. So you would just say that that's something that happened. Data is the collection of multiple points of interest. So no, I wouldn't characterize that as data. But I mean,
he doesn't deserve
it's information. If it's factual, then awesome.
If he didn't interrupt,
why are you saying data?
Make better arguments.
You're doing any fucking sort of data here. This is not a data debate. We're not talking. We're not comparing data here. You're just saying to me,
"This happened."
So many points. You're not saying anything historical evidence.
Nothing you say makes sense.
You're not bringing up data. You're not saying
anything. I've asked you again to just. What is it, guys? Guys, you keep messaging me. I am debating right now in order to. Okay.
He has to read them.
Oh. Wait, so. Wait, is that a first? Holy shit. Okay, well, Bimmy, you've been disqualified by the judges.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's bring in the judges. Let's see.
Wait,
wow.
Is this real?
I mean, they sent me a message, so it's coming from Aviator.
We did all get to 0.
I
was the last to get to 0.
Otherwise, this is bullshit.
He fucking lies all the time.
Okay, I'm bringing them in. Let's find out. Okay, so judges, is that true? I need a confirmation from all 3 of you.
It is true.
I know I wasn't supposed to go into negatives, but he never actually went back into the positives, so it doesn't matter. He got negative 19.
I have the boss at 20 and Bimmy at 0.
Yeah, I got you at 6 though.
I have the boss at 8. I have the boss at 18. I have the boss at 18 and Bimmy at 0.
I gave the boss the lowest score.
Nothing. He didn't say
You're
anything.
oblivious. You drive me mental. You're worse than Turbo.
It took me a while to get to 0. I wanted to know that, okay? I was the last judge to get to 0. I gave you points for claims that I thought you proved, but you interrupted so much, and there were claims that you didn't prove or didn't engage on that it eventually took you down to 0, man.
I'm glad that you won by literally saying nothing, dude. You didn't say
according to you, according to 3 judges, I said plenty.
You didn't say anything. Here.
I mean, I did also. I gave the boss negatives when he didn't engage.
He didn't. He couldn't engage. He didn't have anything to say.
I think you didn't engage more than him.
I didn't engage on it. Please tell me how I was wrong. Please, can you guys tell me? Fact check.
Okay, you kept on interrupting. It didn't matter.
I'll go out for a cigarette while you.
Bad, dude.
It was mainly the interrupting, but you made claims that you were unable
and pivoting too.
Pivoting's bad faith.
Wild. It's so difficult engaging with you. But,
don't get me wrong. The boss lost quite a few points for interrupting too.
I'm sorry, but I have my limits, Nader. I have my.
No, I get it. I'm saying that I was being fair.
That's fair enough. I expect to be deducted when I fuck up.
Points for you too.
I know. I did interrupt because I can't. Like, there's a fucking limit. Like,
I just want everybody to know that boss didn't say anything.
No, thank you. According to the 3 judges, I said plenty. So fuck you, mate. W in the bag. Second W. Let's fucking go. Easy game. Holy shit. These motherfuckers don't even need challengers. These motherfuckers beat themselves. This is how easy it is. Second W in the bag. There you go, guys.
No, Turbo didn't have anything of data. I admit it. But
yeah, Mike is asking.
Nothing right now, dude.
According to you, this means nothing to me.
Obvious.
This means nothing to me. I have 3 judges.
I want to watch the Turbo debate now. Does the boss upload them to YouTube?
That's how bad faith of a motherfucker you are. So fuck you. Jesus.
The last time I checked his YouTube, he hadn't uploaded in 3 weeks.
Insanity. Well, thank you all for participating.
He's uploaded a month now.
Obviously.
You know, the saddest thing is you guys didn't even really get into the debate.
I know. I know. Which is why it's so frustrating.
What the fuck?
It's literally so much to talk about. This motherfucker doesn't even understand how to do comparison.
Twitch.
Nothing.
You don't even understand anything. Your brain cannot fathom how logic and sense work.
Nothing. He said nothing.
Okay, when you just repeating it doesn't make it true. You realize that's not how things work in life, right?
You continue to make the same fucking points and pivot
like
a motherfucker.
No, I'm running after you. We're supposed to. Here's how it works. We're supposed to go from A to B, and you're carrying the bananas, and I'm supposed to be running after you, catching the ones you fall, and you're intentionally throwing them on the floor.
Baby, you pivoted more than a fucking merry-go-round on the playground, dude.
PBG,
yes.
PBG, I wanted to come in here and save you like 4 or 5 times because of how badly you were fucking this up.
I don't know how many people need to tell him before he realizes.
I know.
Yeah, because like I actually like care about like how people perceive China and the United States because it has huge impact on like diplomatic issues.
No.
But
they
like,
wanted
holy
some
fuck,
bullshit.
dude, you dropped the ball like every
don't
fucking
say
turn.
anything.
You're the only one who thinks that, Bimmy. You're the only one who thinks that.
Hold on, Potato. Since you made a claim, right? Can you actually go get a smoke, dude? Let me talk to Potato. Did anything I said, was I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, whenever like he brings up like is it like exploitation to like engage in essentially what's just diplomacy? No, fuck no, obviously not. And
it is inherently. Hold on. Here, Midas here, dude. I'm gonna disagree with you because a lot of those Chinese loans are exploitative on the Chinese part, especially in Africa.
The loans by their very nature, like finance capital, is by nature exploitative.
Okay, so then why would you make that?
That doesn't mean that this is like engaging in some form of imperialism. It's just the.
Wait, why are you asking me to back you up here? Wait.
Yeah,
why are you asking me to back you up here? I offered to judge for you in the debate to give you an out to stop you from getting DQ'd, and you literally told everybody no, that you didn't want me on your side. And now that everything's like over with, you're calling for me to help you.
This sensitive, dude. I didn't know it was this sensitive. Boss didn't say anything like
because you interrupted him.
PPG. Let's assume
his argument was, did you know that I don't even know what the fuck.
By the way,
PBG, your entire debate tactic.
You had way more negative points.
PBG, your entire debate tactic is to scream louder and yell and to browbeat somebody and to browbeat somebody.
You had it, dude.
And to browbeat somebody using your opinions, no hard data, no facts, just trust me, this is true. This is true. That is your entire tactic. And it's not going to work in a format like this.
PPG, I do not get
where's the proof? Where's the evidence? Where's the proof?
The Monroe Doctrine is not real.
That's not the proof. Where's the proof? Where's the proof that this stuff actually happened?
The proof that the Monroe Doctrine is not real?
Where's the proof that it actually happened?
I don't know why you stated that like a domestic policy does not.
You made a statement though.
Foreign policy.
No, let's not.
Oh yeah.
Wait, no, let's not.
That is a losing fucking argument every day of the goddamn week.
Wait. The loan. There are loans, Chinese loans, that are inherently, you might call them inherently because that's your fucking opinion, but they are partaking in imperialism, right? That is imperialism.
Wait, how the fuck is a loan?
Wait, you're arguing against your previous point here.
Yeah, and the entire you started out the conversation.
Stop. I'm gonna refute the bullshit that you're saying. I said that China's IMF loan system is less exploitative. I made this very fucking clear, but it is exploitative.
Okay.
You also started out the conversation.
Wait. No, my God, you guys got fucking nothing, dude.
You don't understand you because you're fucking delusional.
The conversation.
You started out the debate saying that
he's still going. The conversation was that. Hold on. The conversation was that when it comes to the world, the American system is better for humanity. To which I said, no, fucking isn't. Well, what do you mean, dude? So let's go with better for humanity means international issues, I would think, right? It clearly is not. And I cited so much shit that is actually fucking real.
Wait, you didn't cite anything. You just
what the fuck did you cite?
Well, hold on. I would like to address PPG's claim.
I mean,
let's go with the.
Can you read it out?
At least mention some cues, but.
What is?
All right, before we do that, I'm going to transition over to the other screen. Thank you, all the judges. Thank you. Just so you know,
wait, the boss.
If anybody wants to step out.
Do you upload the debate death matches somewhere?
Huh? Yes, that's my job. Yes.
Where do you upload them?
YouTube, and then obviously, if you want the earliest version, it's going to be the highlights in Twitch. But I've been slacking, so I need to get it done again.
Have you uploaded it on a Turbo yet? I'm assuming not.
Why do you keep saying debate, bro? This is nothing debate, bro. I'm just trying to put sense into you.
PPG, Turbo's debate was closed.
Data, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have a data debate, and then this debate, I got disqualified for bringing up
because there are different fucking strategies. There's no data, bro. You just referred to events that took place. It can be data. It can be an
You didn't give any data though, PPG.
Yeah, hold up. You didn't state any data. You just said names. You just threw out buzzwords.
You just gave claims.
I don't even think you can read. I looked at your stream, Bim. Your microphone isn't even on the correct fucking settings. You can't even read the manual for a $120 microphone you got. I don't think you have the reading comprehension to recite the Monroe Doctrine to everyone here. What are you talking about? You said data.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do it right now. Don't worry.
Yeah, cardioid.
Cardioid mode. That's what should be on your microphone.
Yeah, guys, judges, you need to send me the screenshot of your score list, regardless.
People like Potato and Maida just don't, because they are PPG haters.
There are 7 people here.
I'm not a PPG hater, dude. You're just bad. You're making my points look bad.
There are 7 people here that have all said the same thing.
Brother.
How many more do you need?
You're actively turning people anti-China.
Can we do this?
Your rhetoric, because you fucking ass at it.
You can talk about anything you want. The debate's over. So go ahead.
Monroe Doctrine.
Can I just address what PPG said? You said that I was a hater, but I offered to judge for you, and everybody here that you said that you'd rather have on your side just DQ'd you.
I didn't know that it was gonna be this. He wasn't saying anything. Like I was like, bro, you're just
You're the only one saying that. Everybody else is.
Okay, man. Well, that's your opinion, dude.
That's not my opinion. It's based off of 7 fucking different people here that have stated that to be the case.
Anything. I don't know what the fuck to say, dude.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
What you don't understand is that the disqualification was not for what the boss said.
Yes.
It is for the way you behaved in the
we didn't
debate.
even get a chance to dive
Primarily.
into the fucking subject matter.
Oh, he actually wrote down the claims.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's true. We should think.
Nobody said that. You pivoted.
Debate
like a
doesn't mean
motherfucker.
screaming and yelling like a
That's
retard.
fine. Okay, dude. I'm gonna go grab a beer. I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hey, we got Kairos in here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna. I think we've hit the Avenger leftists. We've got Potato King, Kairos, like Bimmy.
I was gonna come in and say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna come in and tell the Bimster, my idol, Bim, my favorite, that he should probably get a prescription for disulfiram, and then get checked out for hepatic encephalopathy. Maybe.
I have no idea what any of that is.
He'll be less unhinged after that.
Jesus Christ. I don't even think that it was okay. It probably came down to like interrupting, like
I think this motherfuckers were like every time I just said, "Oh wait, you're wrong." Like when
we didn't even get to talk about much.
Like when you made that statement about how they take these loans because they need them. No, that's
I need some breakfast. I'm making breakfast.
And I was like, no, they don't. This is what?
Hey, boss.
Yeah, so like I made it. Just send me a screenshot, guys.
These motherfuckers were 3 points off. Oh my god.
Boss, I made a meme. Can we show them?
Unbelievable. Oh yeah.
It's a really good meme.
Kairos.
Yes, PP.
¿Cómo estás, puto?
Acordé ahora. No pienso en nada. Mi cabeza duele.
¿Te duele?
Taco nacho burrito, cinnamon twist.
Kairos,
true,
easy
bestie.
question. Easy question, Kairos. Let's answer it, everybody together, right? Because apparently it didn't happen here. Which country is America system better?
Dude,
for
all
humanity?
PPG does is play ski videos.
No, right?
Yes.
That was the
Or
fucking
Bimmy.
question. Absolutely not.
Country?
It
What
is,
country?
in fact, it's it's the worst.
America?
Yes, sir.
I mean, look, just because it's either America or the planet, it doesn't mean that America's the
That's
problem.
literally what that's.
I'm being sarcastic with the little.
I know,
energy my
I
brain
get what
has.
you're saying, dude. That's
America
what I mean.
should take over the planet.
Bro.
I mean, the thing is, like, there's not going to be much of a planet if America continues existing for very long.
We are headed for massive destruction because of
And
America.
you guys
Think
can
about
take
this
over
Blah,
a
blah,
planet.
blah.
You
PPG,
guys
think
can
about
take
this
over
for a
a
moment.
planet.
There is everybody here agrees with you, but one person, and you still manage to get DQ'd out of a debate because you can't control yourself.
Because he was insane. I was like, bro, I got him. Like, he's not saying anything.
You know, like,
Apparently,
I also gave him
everybody was
negative
just writing
points
it
for
down,
that.
like, oh, not really, bro. Not really, bro.
So let me ask you this, PPG.
We all
Like,
gave
if
him negative points for that.
Hold on,
That's what
Nader.
You don't understand.
Yeah,
Because
No,
he
no,
didn't
hold on,
have
Nader.
anything at
But
all. He was
you-
just like,
PPG.
But
Let me
you
explain to you what you did.
continuously with your browbeating
now I know.
behavior
This is like
scored a
some
lot
fucking
more
debate, so
negative
don't wanna
points
get
than
to
he
edit
did.
Bullshit.
No, this
Okay,
is the
thank
exact
you.
opposite of being a debate, bro. Let me explain to you what you did, PPG. So if I were to walk up to you and I were to ask you, hey, do you have change for a 20? And you said yes. And I said, is there any way you can include 5 ones in that? And then you gave me a recipe for lasagna. You understand how these two things are not correlated, right?
What? Okay, explain. to me.
Correlation equals causation.
But wait. Go into detail, though. Go into detail,
Yes,
please.
you
go
can
into
give.
detail.
Okay, let me explain.
No,
so
go
what
into
happened
detail
in
what
the?
was said.
Yes, I am. So
Yeah.
when someone asks you a specific question or talks about a specific topic, and you answer with something that is not related to that topic, regardless of if the thing you said is or is not true, it is not relevant to said topic. And when you're talking about a debate format in which you're supposed to engage with the
what he's trying
topics,
to do, right? No. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to mass pivot, dude. That's
no,
what
he
when
never
I pointed out,
pivoted.
He did, yes. No, he literally did.
He pivoted to follow where you pivoted.
No. He's talking about the
Yeah.
border.
Yeah.
He's talking about the border.
Wait.
He's talking about the border, right? And he said, does the border affect international
He literally
issues?
changed angles to follow your pivots.
Why are you bringing this up when we were talking about the IMF and fucking the Belt and Road Initiative? He mass pivoted, dude. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
So I have a question here.
Okay, let's assume. Go ahead.
Let's pretend I read at a 6th grade level. What is pivoting?
It's where you completely avoid the topic.
This is for PPG. PPG. What is a pivot?
The point, dude.
Yeah, but what is a pivot?
Wait. The initial fucking. Are you being a cunt? You are being a cunt. Here, cunt.
I think he's just trying to see if you're able to define a word without using it in its definition.
Cunt. Let me finish, cunt. Your initial point. The initial point was which one is better for humanity, and I refuted the point, and he went to some fucking national law, and I was like, well, what is that? A national law? What the fuck does that have to do with the betterment of humanity? And
see, this is a really cool story, but this isn't telling me what a pivot is. Like, what is a pivot?
I don't want to talk semantics with some fucking little bitch, dude.
No, it's just a simple question.
Oh, no,
like,
yeah. Oh, no.
So what's a pivot?
Answer.
He pivoted, dude.
Can't answer.
I don't know the definition of pivot. I know it's a fucking pivot.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Thank you. All right. Well, what did you?
All right. I gotta.
Wait. See, wait. Yep. This is actually pretty good because I brought up the actual substance of how he mass pivoted, and this retard just wants to talk about the definition of pivot. That is the definition of debate, bro.
No, I just wanted to hear you describe what pivot is. I just want to understand when you say pivot, what you mean by that.
All right.
Oh my god.
So Tillip's gonna back out. I'm gonna come in. I got a question for PPG. Pretend that I'm a 7th grader and I'm not very good at reading. Can you define what pivoting means to me?
He pivoted from the initial point. I don't know. Taking a turn, doesn't want to fuck. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you, dude? Is this making?
Tell him the definition.
I thought we were talking about substantial shit. I don't know. I don't have the fucking definition. What the fuck do you want me? Is this winning you the debate?
It doesn't need to be like an actual definition. I think they'd be fine with a personal definition here. I don't think we need like Webster's here.
I don't care. I don't. That's fine. I don't know.
What does pivoting mean to you?
Moving away from the initial point. Pivot. You move away because you don't have a fucking answer.
Oh, there we go.
You did the whole time.
I did that?
Yes.
When? Please go into specifics, dude. Please, where?
Sure, I can give you an example of this. So when PPG, when the boss asked you for a specific example of like countries that have had economic policies enforced on them by the United States throughout history, you gave the shock doctrine as an example. Just to be clear, I don't think.
Wait, the shock doctrine is it's the austerity measure that is implemented into the country, which has happened through force or through will, right? I mean, through fucking whatever. They consented to it. Right-wing governments consented to it. What the?
Okay, PPG. Now let me ask you, what is the shock doctrine?
What is the shock doctrine?
Because I legitimately don't think you know what it is.
Hold on. It was written by fucking Klein, that lady Klein, read it, etc. It's austerity measures pushed into the country to privatize and oppress the people so you can extract resources.
Except you're forgetting one very key and specific talking point about what the shock doctrine was about. It was about capitalist countries pushing disaster capitalism onto countries during a time of crisis, specifically in regards to natural disasters or other local and domestic policy failures.
No.
That's not what I said, PPG.
Yeah. Wait.
So if the shock doctrine...
I'm saying, but fucking...
No.
What?
If you would let me finish, the shock doctrine can only be enacted when there is already an established state of crisis within a country. The shock doctrine that you cited and the countries that you cited are completely irrelevant to the nature of the shock doctrine.
Wait. Okay, right here. Perfect. Right here. Ecuador. We just brought up Ecuador. Rafael Correa was a extremely successful fucking president, dude. Lifted hundreds of thousands of people in the millions area out of poverty. He was a leftist. You get this fucking American puppet who pretended to be a leftist, comes in illegally, almost a fucking coup, right? The guy who ousted Assange from fucking Britain, and he implements shock doctrine. It happened in a different form of whatever the fuck you're talking about, but it happened. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
So, okay, if you just undermined your own argument. You said if it was a different form, if it was a different form of what I described is something that is very specific and is established as a type of disaster capitalism implemented during a time of crisis in an attempt to exploit a country to be able to exploit the financial situation and the established power systems of that country by offering them a contract or some means of being able to take wealth or to be able to benefit from these disasters that happen. What you are describing is not shock doctrine.
Thank you for one of the most semantic fucking arguments I've ever seen in my life, Maida. Thank you.
No, I'm telling you what you're citing is incorrect. What you are saying is incorrect in its application.
No, you're not. No. That's what happens, dude. That America pushes.
Okay, PPG, listen to what I am saying. No, PPG, shut the hell up for a single moment, dog. I am trying to help you here.
Into a country,
I am trying to help you here, PPG.
Hold on. Whether it's a disaster, whether it's they invaded the country, whether it's they fucking ousted the leader illegally, or they using covert operations assassinated the fuck, etc. Right? Like they did.
Yes, we're doing great.
They push the same idea. It's the same fucking thing.
Okay,
what the fuck are you talking about?
PPG. Now that you're done going off on your unhinged tangent, I don't disagree with the thing that you just proposed. I think that the United States uses exploit. Can you shut the hell up for one moment and just let me talk? It will benefit you, I promise. When the United States exploits these countries during times of crisis or are otherwise jumping in to try to establish coups to initiate a time of crisis to implement shock doctrine, there is a significant difference between these two examples I just gave. And in the example you gave, it would not define or fall under shock doctrine because there was not a time of crisis that was happening during the invested interest of the United States being able to establish its austerity measures there. So when you talk about this, there is a specific definition for this word, and you are using it outside of its definition rather than actually arguing the actual thing that is happening.
What the fuck? Okay, dude, sure. Again, thank you for the most semantic fucking argument I've ever seen in my life.
It's not semantic.
Materialistically, America, who this cocksucker kept saying that they were gonna be, is better for humanity, right? They implemented, whether it's all the little bullshit that you say, natural whatever phenomenons or whatever the fuck disasters, or them doing it, manufacturing it themselves, they still implement the same motherfucking austerity measures, right? So what the fuck is it? Why would you make a difference out of this?
It's not always the same.
I also don't see any difference, Maida. What is the difference? You have
you have not
earned your airtime with this narrative right now. You have not.
Okay, so the difference is. No,
we're earning airtime.
You're again.
Am I getting fucking paid for this?
Yeah.
No, again. See, Kairos doesn't understand the framing as I was trying to establish it. So I will reiterate for him. When you use the term shock doctrine, it is specifically talking about things like austerity measures during what is described as disaster capitalism as outlined by shock doctrine. It is intervening during a time of crisis to exploit the people, the economic systems, and the power systems of a country to try to better establish control over that country or that state or that system through questionable or otherwise illegal or controversial policy changes. When you do this, there is shock doctrine that is applied. If you try to use the term shock doctrine to establish something like a coup, or you define it as any form of imperialism that happens when the United States does an exploitative action or a controversial action over a country without there being a time of...
No, well,
I'm just not going to be able to finish.
The shock doctrine occurs within a context. The shock doctrine occurs within a context of imperialism. So, like, it's a little bit irrelevant when we're dealing when we're dealing with definitions in the real world, we're dealing with a structuralist approach, which means a multidisciplinary analysis where different fields of science are applied, not only economics, but also history, geopolitics, and even demographics and geography. So, like, when and where and how the shock doctrine was implemented will help define it.
Yes, what you're doing right now, disagree with that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to allow the line to be you're trying to allow the line to be blurred to exclude the specific definitions as defined by the shock doctrine in and of its original writings. And I think that if you try to perverse this definition, what happens is you start being able to use political terminology in places where they're not applicable as they were done here tonight. A great example of this would be if I define fascism as the democratic means of being able to establish the means of production and distribution being owned by the people within a system.
What?
And then I called you a fascist for believing that.
What? Was that sarcasm?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you? Is this a reduction ad absurdum?
No, it's not a reduction ad absurdum. It's you being able to not understand how using a perverse definition or application of a word leads to that word losing its meaning or not having an applicable definition or application anymore.
Okay, cool. Like, I got a headache right now, so if I keep like entertaining your points, I'm just gonna be mean to you. So let me just like wait until my.
He used it close enough.
Copium, brother.
It's a very
shock doctrine is to see what they do to these countries. They fucking exploit the shit out of them. They keep them oppressed. That's the whole fucking point.
He used it. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. His use was proper enough.
You can't just use debate bro fucking words and buzzwords and then think you're going to get away with it. Essentially, what Maita is saying is that you have to take everything in context, and then Kairos agrees to that. So then he goes, "Shut the fuck up."
No, but Maita has not justified.
No, you agreed to that. You said the context matters. So then he says to you, okay, considering the context matters, then we need to look at each scenario, each event separately and determine whether we would classify it as being exploitative, the end period, or exploitation took place, how much so? And then you would also look at their conditions. So did they have any other options? If the other option was worse and they took the less worse option, we would look at it more preferably. And so, yes. You can't just say everything is exploitative, period, the end, finished story. Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't be he's not making the argument that everything is exploitative, period. What the argument that Kairos is trying to make is he's trying to equate every form of imperialism to that of the shock doctrine. So just because the shock doctrine is a form of imperialism does not mean that all imperialism is that of the shock doctrine.
So, just to be clear, Maida, whatever method of like hegemonic empire building of a generation, of an era, is imperialism. I don't think there are multiple forms. It's the only form that has been tested and proven to succeed that is considered the one form. Because if there were competing forms of imperialism, there will be competing worlds, competing realities in which imperialism would be employed. So whatever is, for example, in the medieval era, the control of the spice routes in the Middle East were the form of imperialism of the time. And before that, there was the control of the limestone mines that the Romans controlled, and also the slave trading routes in Europe, which were like very close to Rome because of the lack of like sufficient horse riding transportation. So like nowadays, the control of the whaling, the control of the whaling industry in the late 19th century would be completely useless as a form of empire building and hegemony building of our time. So like every method used in history that has become obsolete doesn't become a competing form of imperialism. You're not going to compete with America by controlling the spice routes. You're not trying to open a fucking stock tube like company, soup stock company. So like every era has its own singular form of imperialism. There's not like economic imperialism, criminal imperialism, political imperialism, culinary imperialism. No. It's like hegemony implies a single force dominating all other forces. So there are no competing hegemons. That's an oxymoron. There's no competing hegemon. There's only one hegemon by definition. right?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But let's say China overtakes the global hegemon, right, over the United States. They're gonna be technically exploiting countries for China's benefit, right? You don't think that?
Do you hate that PPG is undoing everything you just did?
Wait. No. I agree with what you just said. Shut the fuck up, Minot, please.
No, you actually
what
agree with me.
aspects specifically do you agree with?
You're undermining Kairos' argument. He came in to defend you, and you're actively undermining his argument.
Because I don't agree with what he's saying. There's levels to this shit, right?
I don't even have to argue with you.
Like I say, PPG, Bimmy never represents me. Yeah, there you go.
Kairos. So are you in the agreement that the loans that China gives to like fucking Africa, they're pretty exploitative? You don't think that's imperialism?
No.
Why not? They are the global hegemon, right? They're not the second global hegemon.
I would just like to point and laugh at PT Salty, who just accused me of saying that you're not doing this exact thing that you're now doing, because it just goes to show that your fans don't even understand your argument.
Salty will accuse everybody of everything.
There have been multiple hegemons, and there will be multiple hegemons, but you can only be a hegemon one at a time. Otherwise, it's not a hegemony.
That's
right.
Okay. You don't think there's competing hegemons, brother? Like,
I mean, there's people competing for hegemony, but there are not competing hegemons.
There's not states competing against each other for global hegemony.
Yes, they are. But then there's a single slot for multiple people.
Yes, which is the United States right now. Of course. But there's Okay, so you brought up. Hold on. You brought up controlling the spice routes, right? And they control the spice routes. If these countries,
brilliant.
What I said, PPG. Let me just clarify this to you.
An actual example.
Spice routes are an example of how like that method is obsolete. Controlling the spice routes would make you have like a successful soup stock company, and that's it. Not a fucking empire. You know? That's an example of like how like methods of hegemony, like the control of the rail lines in the early 19th century, were a method of hegemony. Nowadays, you would just be a very successful train multinational, maybe more successful than usual after COVID. You know, with the stock prices for railroads going up like crazy, more than any other transport system. But you would still not dominate the world, right? Every era has a different method of hegemony, and then to assume that all these methods they coexist as hegemony methods is it's an oxymoron. There's only room for one hegemon at a time. The people can be competing for hegemony, but there's only space for one at a time.
Okay. Let me bring back to what you were saying, all right?
Do you know what hegemony is, Jimmy?
Chill, dude.
Yeah, pretend. Okay, I'm coming in here. I'm a seventh grader. I'm a seventh grader. I don't read so well. Can you define?
But where do you draw the line when it comes to imperialism? And I give you the example. What if China takes over the spot that you're talking about?
To be clear, like to be very undebate lordy. No, that's just to help everybody here. To be very anti-debate lordy. Hegemony is power over power. That's it. You know. It's not just power; it's power over those that have power. Power over power.
I would probably say that it's okay. Yeah, the ultimate state. What is the fucking?
We live in nation states. You fucking retard.
Okay, no. The idea is that you're going to have so much power that it's not in the best interest of anybody to oppose you, and as a result, they bow down to you and they submit to you.
Yeah,
and
there are still other leaderships. There are still other powers, but these powers serve you.
Yeah.
You have nation states. We live in current nation states, right? That's how we live. Humans, right now. That's how it is, bro.
Yeah.
China, hold on. I want to give you Kairos. China takes over. The only way to get to develop your country is to get one of these loans. China, you don't have the IMF loan anymore. It's just China. They continue to create these fucking sometimes exploitative loans, right? You wouldn't consider that imperialism? To a certain extent, where do you draw the line?
Let's assume that China is just yellow America. Let's do this like absurd analysis for a second. Just entertain it for a second, right? Let's assume that China is just like America that eats soy sauce. Sure.
It seems a bit racist.
What would happen?
That's racist. Vegan.
I am entertaining a racist perspective. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm entertaining it for the sake of destroying it. Right? That's what you're missing here. Let's assume that yes, it's China's yellow America. And then what would happen to its currency if it becomes a hegemon? It would go to shit because it would have to be balanced based on the global market. So inflation in their own country would go tits up. The thing with this theory of China seeking to be a hegemon is that it will destroy its own economy. If China wants to destroy its own economy, I mean, that's on them. But like, I think there's a major hurdle to this analysis. There's a major problem with this, which is the fact that when America the way that America found hegemony, and the tools of hegemony nowadays is financial control, which is currency.
Yes.
Monarchy. A monarchy of currency.
What's up,
right?
Cosmic?
So the problem with assuming that China would seek to be a hegemon is that its currency would be backed by a global market, and therefore inflation will be based on how well that currency is doing with boom and bust cycles. So like, I think China will fuck itself if they seek to be a hegemon, which is why I personally don't think that China is seeking to be a hegemon. But if for them to keep existing, they have to topple a hegemon and be seen as one, so be it. But it doesn't mean...
You're not of the belief that China's trying to fucking aim towards communism?
Have any of you read or like watched anything from the Confessions of an Economic Hitman stuff? Didn't even know about that.
I've heard about it, but
you guys would like this book. I think his videos too. It's by a man named Josh Perkins. He actually worked for an energy company that was involved in like negotiating with countries to give these countries like IMF loans, and he talks about some of the predatory loans that he gave to countries as someone who worked not for the IMF, but again for an energy company. So he would go into these countries and say, look at all these nice benefits that we could do if you just accept this loan and we'll build your fucking energy plant. He came out with like a new edition of his book. Yeah, sure. I'm just saying he came out with the third edition of his book like 2 years ago, where he talks about China's new economic strategy. I would need to reread the section to bring up specifics, but he's relatively he'll admit that like the loans from China are better than a lot of the loans from the IMF, and China seems to interfere less in these countries, but he still seems to think that they're
did you hear that, you fucking retarded cocksucker?
True, trying to become an economic hegemon.
I wanted to debate.
What down?
So like, the one thing that we need to understand is that first of all, loans. I mean, I try to, but I'm having a headache, right? So what I could understand is that you're saying that loans could be a method of hegemony, and that you are trying to argue that China may be using loans as a method of hegemony. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
let's forget about hegemony for a second. Let's just say like China does engage in some of the same, we'll say like debt trap that we engage in.
Okay. Let's assume you're assuming that with basis on what?
No, they do that sometimes, bro.
Well,
Jesus.
the thing is,
and especially in Africa, yes, they do.
They do. So, like, what happened? Have you seen the case of Angola, where China gave money to Angola, and what happened?
No, I did. The one specific thing I remember is the Montenegro Bridge to Nowhere, which I think was built on a Chinese loan, and it was just a bridge and a highway that went to literally nowhere.
Yeah, that's probably an example of why they have to give loans instead of just donating money, right? Another example is what happened in Angola, which is the fact that like once China gave them money, there was a new government in power after the money was given, and then they just decided to not use the money for what the money was supposed to. So they just wasted the money. And then China realized, probably, I mean, you could assume, okay, I'm not in the minds of the Chinese politicians of the Chinese Communist Party, but you can assume that they realized that giving them money will not necessarily help them if there's a change of government, if there's corruption, if there's any problem. But giving them money with a deadline for that money to be employed and for there to be a return of that money is a necessity rather than simply a profit-seeking endeavor, right? So like, you give money to
incentivize them.
Yeah, it will make them like, okay, I'll give you this money, but it has to be used for this thing. And in order for for us to make sure that it's going to be used for that, is that you're going to use this for this, and then once you build this thing, it's going to bring you money, and then you can pay for the loan. I don't want you to burn this with like fucking useless construction projects or worse with private profit. Like you just buy yourself a jet.
I just mentioned a useless construction project,
Exactly.
the Montenegro Bridge from nowhere to nowhere.
And that corroborates with what I'm saying, that the money has to come with strings attached because it can't be used for useless shit. It shouldn't be, but that's
the bridge to nowhere was actually an extension of another part called the highway to nowhere, which is a highway that was built as an extension to the bridge that went out another 2.5 miles into the forest and has no towns attached to it or cities.
Which is why the loans are a necessity, and not just like donations. Donations can't be a good idea, always a good idea.
But I think this was a loan.
Correct. It was $1 billion Chinese highway loan.
So you could argue that the loan could have been given with a shorter deadline, with more stringent and more strict conditions. And also remember that China forgives more loans than any Western country has ever done, and they renegotiate loans like more frequently. Like it's like something between.
I mean that's true, but you understand
30,
part of the reason they're doing that
loans
is because they're in contest with the U.S. and the U.S. doesn't do that, so they have to make a better deal with these countries.
I would also like to expand upon what competition says.
The thing with the idea of competition is that you only compete as long as there's a profit margin. But when you compete to the point that you lower your prices so much that you're not making a profit, you're not competing to win. You're just competing to beat the enemy.
And
then you're not profiting.
Well, yeah, but
because like
China views that as a profit in the long run.
You're profiting
so
more
like
than
like
them.
look at it this way. The way that there are bidding systems, like in Africa, where like an African government puts out a bid for like, okay, who wants to build an airport here? And then a lot of countries all over the world say like, me. And then the African government goes like, okay, I'm giving you the initial offer of like 5 million monies. I don't know what the currency is. And then they're like, okay, I'm doing this for 7 million. And then whoever bids the lowest wins. But if you bid too low as a capitalist country, you're fucked because you're not going to pocket any of the money, right? You might even actually have to put in some of your money into this.
Sure.
So China goes in and beats them all by going like, okay, you're offering this a minimum bid 5 million. I'm fucking doing this for 4,900,000. And then the African government goes, holy shit, take this. And then the Western countries are like, fuck, god damn it, fucking Chinese people. And then this is what happens.
Nonfon's argument, dude, is that Nonfon.
Well, I'm just saying they're doing that for a long-term gain to beat the U.S. is what I'm saying. Like they might take a short-term loss.
Sure. Nobody is saying that China is like pure in intentions. No government is pure. They are pragmatic.
But the framing of this is the idea that somehow just because they're doing it at a deficit, somehow that's never going to be like good for them, even though their competition is doing it for less than they are.
And they're
like China also subsidizes their exports. They subsidize companies that export stuff. That I mean, they're doing that for their own economic gain. Like
So like the thing is, doing something for economic gain is different from doing something for hegemony and doing something for so like what China's doing to America and to the West is like the West is trying to fuck them over with trade wars. And then so by tackling and dislodging Western hegemonic power, they are simply allowed to survive. China is trying to tackle the imperialist hegemony, not because necessarily, provenly they want to dominate the world, but they don't want to be dominated by this. So like whatever happens next is good for them because they get to survive. We know that China, by simply existing, is a threat to hegemony, to imperialist hegemony. And then they have to defeat this hegemony to live.
They're a threat to everybody and to other countries. Like each country is like looking out for itself. If you're looking at Russia and you're just saying, oh, they're not a hegemony, therefore they're not worried about China, that's not the case. Those two are competing just like every other country is competing with another.
Russia and China are cooperating now. They're cooperating now. The thing is, there are imperialist
best interest.
When we think of imperialism nowadays, after the NATO era, with the advent of the NATO, we have to think of imperialist blocks, where each country is imperialist, but only by virtue of being part of a larger system of imperialism, such as NATO. So like the way that imperialism works is in larger and larger conglomerates of nations, just like imperialism initially was created by small conglomerates of imperialists that form national monopolies and then go to compete with other national monopolies. France versus England versus Germany, that's World War I, right? And then these countries, upon winning, they gather up in slightly bigger blocks. And then it became Western Europe versus the Eastern Bloc, the Soviet bloc. And nowadays it's the Western world against the Eurasian bloc of like China and Russia. It is always this tendency in imperialism to grow into larger conglomerates to compete with even larger conglomerates, right? And then when everything is dominated, they just go to war with themselves, and then they just divide everything like they did in World War II. So yeah, now they are seeing when we see China and Russia working together to beat the West, they're not beating imperialist nations; they're beating an imperialist bloc.